Yes, so we are gathering again here at Sacred Earth Temple, hosting yet another auspicious moment of numinous experience. It's a pleasure to dedicate this evening to Anthony Natividad, who has graced this building in the past with his big heart and sparkly smile. And I remember him dearly. I was at that memorial service where a huge community from all over turned out to honor a very loving, talented, bridge-building man. And so we invoke him as our guardian angel now to open the way for a smooth evening of creative self-expression and pointing at the moon together, looking to spirit. So it's beautiful to have my brother DreamingBear here. I've known him many years, seen different incarnations of this man, but always it comes through a deep, sincere heart and appreciation of the subtle realms of this world, and a powerful spoken word that uplifts and encourages each of us to understand things more deeply and to find our place in the cosmos. And so this is a CD release party for your latest creation. It's called Enlightenment, is that right? Enlightenment, the golden thread of truth. And so we're going to be hearing words from a number of different prophets from different traditions. And my guess is there will be a mystical overlap. And that's part of the magic of this evening, to recognize that so many different ways of approaching the great mystery, and yet somehow there's this underlying primordial oneness that unites all of these different ways of approaching spirit. So it's a pleasure to host each of you, you ancient and wise souls that responded to the call to be here tonight. And I invite you to open your hearts and minds and drop into your Buddha nature and subtle awareness to receive this gift. That will be a multimedia experience. We have Doug DeVore treating us to visuals. We're having the Sacred Earth dancers embodying different aspects of the goddess with interpretation of the music and words that we'll be treated to. So it promises to be yet another amazing night at Sacred Earth Temple on the North Shore of Maui. Welcome, I'm Blue Mountain, your host at your service, along with Mirayah Del Lamar, who's kind of got the dancers together, and I'm sure we will receive an offering of the sacred tonight. Please welcome DreamingBear.
I love you so much, Baba Blue Mountain. So grateful for you and for Mirayah and for the fact that you exist on this planet. Because if it weren't for them, we wouldn't be here tonight. So maybe a round of applause for Blue Mountain and Mirayah Del Lamar. I love you so much. So I want to just give you a little bit of background about what we're going to do tonight. I am in a wheelchair and I've been going through some spinal surgeries, and while I was on my back I thought I don't want to be unproductive, so I ended up getting a PhD in philosophy. I'd already had 2 master's degrees and I was teaching at Cal State Long Beach, but I decided since I'm on my back for so much I might as well get a PhD. And in that research I began to look at the words of the ancient prophets, beginning with the oldest traditions, in hopes of discovering what this thing called enlightenment is. You know, we have gurus, we have sages, we have prophets, and every tradition has something beautiful to offer. I realized that every tradition has what I call the golden thread of truth. So I spent 2 years going through each narrative, beginning with Krishna, then going on into King Solomon, and then into Buddha, and then into Jesus, and ending with Muhammad, all the while searching for that golden thread of truth, that one thing that tied all traditions together. And of course, it ends up being the word love. And more than that, I've taken liberty to include the goddess essence in this expression. I've narrowed down the entire narrative of each of these traditions to 10 minutes apiece. So you'll have a 10-minute expose on Buddhism, a 10-minute expose on Islam, but from the mouth of the masters themselves, as expressed through us. So the concept here is the goddess, who are the dancers, they represent each of the feminine aspects. Their dance opens a portal in space and time. And we, the audience, go on a mental, spiritual journey back in time. So these portals open, and imagine you come to the feet, first of Krishna. And then who better to play the flute of Krishna than Anthony Natividad? So this is where you'll hear my brother from another mother. His music comes in right at the beginning. He opens the whole set off for us. And it was just a little while ago, it seems like only yesterday, that he and I were together at my house. And I said, can you lay down some tracks for Krishna? And he, in his jovial way, he made something so much more magnificent happen than I could ever have hoped for. So tonight is also my unveiling of Anthony's last in-studio performance. Now, from there we're going to go into each of the other narratives, but just remember that the goddess essence, the dancers, are opening the portal for the voice to come through. Before we go to the actual event itself, I want to take a moment and honor the man who is Anthony Natividad. His beloved wife and his daughter are here. I'm going to ask that you two would please stand up for a moment, if you would, and I'll put them on the spot. Can we all look at them and put one hand over our heart, stay up for us for a second, and put another hand towards them right now. And just say, we honor you.
We honor you.
We welcome you. We love you. And we thank you for loving Anthony. He lives on in you. And we recognize that. Okay. Aloha. Thank you so much, Jamie and Aliyah. I'll make sure I say that right, Aliyah. So honored to have you both here. I hope that you know how much Anthony has been, not just to me, but to this entire island. And if I have anything to say about it, the whole world will hear this song. So thank you for giving me the permission to play with your husband one more time. I'm truly grateful for that. Are you ready to go on a journey of enlightenment? Yes. I don't believe you. I heard one yes. I said, are we ready to go on a journey of enlightenment together? Yeah. Now, make no mistake, it's a journey, and it's one that we're taking together. It's not just me. I might be a voice, but think of my voice as your voice echoing off the beat of this heart, if you will. Think of what these dancers are doing as an actual incarnation of the divine feminine. You know, the legend of Maui is what made me think of this album, because if you look at the legend of Maui, it's a masculine deity. But what runs through the veins of that masculine deity? Pele, the goddess, the feminine activates the masculine. So that's what's going to happen tonight. We really want to honor the divine feminine as well. And then finally, we want to honor the guru in each other. So I want you to turn to the person sitting next to you as we begin our journey. And grab that person by the pinky, if you would. We're going to make a little pinky promise of peace to each other tonight. I learned the greatest lesson of my life from a 4.5-year-old Israeli girl on the border of Palestine and Israel, when she grabbed me by my pinky and she said, "Dreaming-Bear, there is already peace. All we have to do is love each other without shame." And I said, wow. So look at that person next to you, not me. Look at that beautiful, devious, mischievous 4-year-old looking back at you. Don't worry, they've been doing things they don't want you to know about. And if you have the courage of a 4-year-old, say, "I love you without shame." Now, repeat after me and say, "I, pinky, promise to have as much fun as I can while I can." To not hold back. And I double dog dare you to do the same. If you have the courage of a 5-year-old, say, I pinky promise to do what I was born to do, baby. Like I was born to do it. And I triple dog dare you to do the same. If you accept this challenge, give each other a hug and a kiss on each cheek and say, aloha. You're so beautiful. Well, are you ready to go on a journey? It's my privilege to introduce the Sacred Earth dancers led by Mirayah Del Lamar. Let's give them a round of applause as they come to the stage. Eternal Dreamer. This is the goddess essence, and they will be your guides, the DNA, the dance nexus of awareness, the interdimensional nexus hub, or transluminal flux in the space-time continuum. This is where all expressions of existence merge into a single quintessence. And one can experience every possible version of existence in an instant. You have consciously selected the topic of Enlightenment, accessing ancient Earth archives, circa 5000 BC, entering the world of Krishna. You are everything. Earth, water, fire, air, and space. The subtle world, the nature of all. You, self of all beings. All is your body, visible and invisible, divided by space and time. We are the Brahma, the immense being, the first shape, who sprang from the lotus of your navel to create the worlds. We, the gods, worship you in ourselves. We, as the kings and queens of heaven, as the sun, the Lord of tears, we as the indweller, the many gods of agriculture, the lords of the wind, we, the offering, we are all of your shapes, while you are ourselves. We, the eternal truth, who dwell in bliss, obtain the meta-fruit of our deeds, realized as this world's shapes of joy. Free from contracts, we enter and move within all things. Dweller in the lotus of the heart, you are the self of time, which at the end of ages infallibly devours all beings. Universal self, we are that elemental shape from which sprang beasts and humans, gods and living beings, ether and the elements, sound and all the qualities. Be fearless and pure. Never waver in your determination or your dedication to the spiritual life. Give freely. Be self-controlled, sincere, truthful, loving, and full of the desire to serve. Learn to be detached and to take joy in renunciation. Do not get angry or harm any living creature, but be compassionate and gentle. Show goodwill to all. Cultivate your vigor, your patience. Avoid malice and pride. Cultivate your will and your purity. Then you will achieve your destiny. One alone sees truly, who sees love the same in every creature, seeing the same God essence everywhere. That one does not harm himself or others. When meditation is mastered, like a candle in a windless place, strive to still your mind. Make yourself one-pointed in meditation. On this path, effort never goes to waste, and there is no failure. Even a little effort towards spiritual awareness will protect you from the greatest fear. Strive constantly to serve the welfare of the world. By devotion to selfless work, one attains the supreme goal of life. Do your work with the welfare of others always in mind. You, transcendent self, you are the cause of causes, the principal shape beyond compare, beyond nature, beyond intellect. Pure than purity it stands, beyond the sphere of qualities. Your heart is the birthless, the indestructible. Outside home, there is but nothingness. You are the ever-present within all things as the intrinsic principle of all. You are the resplendent indweller, the seed of all that is. You stand changeless in your truest essence. The supreme stage is your core, the universe, your shape. You are the unborn, eternal. You are everything. Eternal dreamers, you've come over 4,000 years in only a few minutes to continue your internal download of enlightenment. Remain comfortably situated in mind, body, and spirit as we transcend the known limits of physics and wormhole our way into timelessness, into the land of milk and honey, accessing ancient earth archives, entering the world of King Solomon. Vapor. Nothing but vapor. There's nothing to anything. It's all vapor. What's there to show for a lifetime of work? A lifetime of working your fingers to the bone. One generation goes its way, the next one arrives, but nothing really changes. It's good old business as usual for planet Earth. The sun rises, and then it sets, and then it does it again, and again, and again. The same old story. What was, will be again. What happened, will happen again. There is nothing new on this earth, and no one remembers what happens yesterday. And the things that will happen tomorrow, nobody will remember them either. Don't count on being remembered yourself. You see, I looked most carefully into everything, searched out all that is done on this planet, and let me tell you, there's not much to write home about. The universe hasn't made it easy on us. I've seen it all, and it's nothing but vapor. Life's a corkscrew that can't be straightened, a minus that won't add up. I said to myself, I know more and am wiser than any being before me in Jerusalem. I've stockpiled wisdom and knowledge. What I've finally concluded is, so-called wisdom and knowledge are mindless and witless. Nothing but spitting into the wind. Much learning brings you much trouble. The more you know, the more you hurt. I said to myself, let's go for it. Experiment with pleasure. Have a good time. But there was nothing to it. Nothing but vapor. What do I think of the fun-filled life? Insane. Inane. My verdict on the pursuit of happiness? Who needs it? With the help of a bottle of wine and all the wisdom I could muster, I tried my level best to penetrate the absurdity of life. I wanted to get a handle on anything useful we mortals might do during the years we spend on this earth. Everything I want, I took. I never said no to myself. I gave in to every impulse, held nothing back. I sucked the marrow of pleasure out of every task. My reward to myself for a hard day's work. It's okay to have fun. I've decided that there's nothing better to do than go ahead and have a good time. And get the most you can out of life. Humans die, animals die. We all breathe the same air. We all end up in the same place. We all came from dust. We all end up as dust. Nobody knows for sure that the human spirit rises to heaven or that the animal spirit sinks to the earth. So I made up my mind that there's nothing better for us humans, men and women, to do than to have a good time. In whatever we do, that's our lot. Who knows if there's anything else to this life? A good reputation is better than a fat bank account. Crying is sometimes better than laughing. Sages invest themselves in hurt and grieving. Don't be quick to fly off the handle. Anger boomerangs. Take a good look at love's work. Who could simplify and reduce creation's colors and angles to a plain, straight line? On a good day, enjoy yourself. On a bad day, examine your conscience. God arranges for both kinds of days so that we won't take anything for granted. Stay in touch with your shadow and your light. There's not one totally good person on earth, not one who is truly pure and sinless. Don't eavesdrop on the conversation of others. What if the gossip's about you and you don't want to hear it? You've done it a few times too, haven't you? Said things behind other people's backs that you wouldn't say to their face. You see, God made humanity true and upright. We're the ones who've made a mess of things. Yes, there's a right time and way for everything, even though, unfortunately, we miss it for the most part. It's true that no one knows what's going to happen or when. No one has any say-so regarding the day of death. All this I observed as I tried my best to understand all that's going on in this world. As long as men and women have the power to hurt each other, this is the way that it's going to be. Here's something that happens all the time and makes no sense at all. Good people get what's coming to the wicked, and bad people get what's coming to the good. I tell you, this makes no sense. I'm all for just going ahead and having a good time. The best possible time. The only earthly good men and women can look forward to is to eat and drink well and make love and have a good time. Life lasts about as long as vapor. Eternal dreamers, as you linger on the brink of cosmic conundrums, we remove yet another layer of the veil between past and present, between dreams and future. We awaken our inner genius, accessing ancient Earth archives, circa 900 BC, entering the world of Siddhartha, aka Buddha. I have recognized the deepest truth, which is sublime and peace-giving, but difficult for the world to understand. Most of humanity moves in spheres of economic and social interests, and they will not understand the message. For to this world of egotism, there is happiness in selfhood only. And the bliss I speak of, the bliss which lies in a complete surrendering to truth, is unintelligible to most. The truth and nirvana itself always remain hidden to those whose souls are in the bondage of hate and desire, whose lives and minds are beclouded with worldly interests. The Enlightened One does not seek salvation through religious piety, nor does the Enlightened One live in a world of indulgent pleasure, nor overabundance, nor extreme poverty. For the Enlightened One has found the middle path. Know that neither vegetarianism, nor veganism, nor sacrificing to the gods can cleanse a soul that is not already free from its delusions. Now, this is the noble truth concerning suffering. Birth comes with pain. Decay is painful. Disease is painful. Death, painful. Union with that which is unpleasant. Separation from that which you desire. Any craving that is unsatisfied. This too is painful. In brief, bodily conditions which spring from attachments to existence are painful. Now this is the noble truth concerning the origin of suffering. Truly, it is that craving itself that longs for and is accompanied by the seeking of satisfaction, now here, now there. The craving for the satisfaction of desire, the craving for a future life, and even the craving for happiness in this life. All of these are the origin of suffering. Now this is the noble truth concerning the destruction of suffering. Truly, it is the destruction in which no desire remains of this very thirst. It is the laying aside of, the being free from, this unquenchable thirst of existence. That's what leads to the destruction of suffering. Now here's the noble truth concerning the way that leads past sorrow. It is the eightfold path, that is to say, conscious views, conscious aspirations, conscious speech, conscious behavior, conscious livelihood, conscious efforts, conscious thought, and conscious contemplation. These are the truths leading to the destruction of sorrow. He who knows the nature of self and understands how the senses act finds no room for selfishness and thus attains peace unending. There are deeds being done, but there is no doer. There is a blowing of the wind, but there is no wind that does the blowing. The thought of self is an error, and all existences are as hollow and empty as water bubbles. Therefore, as there is no self, there is no transmigration of a self. But there are deeds, and the continued effect of your deeds. There is a rebirth of karma. There is reincarnation. This reappearance of the seeming self is continuous and depends upon the law of cause and effect. The thoughts of humanity, their character, their aspirations are impressed upon others in a continuous transference and continuation of karma. And the good deeds will continue into blessings, whilst the bad deeds continue to become curses. The body is a compound of perishable goods. It is shut yet to decay. We should attend to it without being attached to it. The body is a container, although there is no self in it that makes it walk or act, but the thoughts of it. Since there is no self, there cannot be an afterlife of the self. Therefore, let go of all thoughts of self. But since there are deeds, and deeds continue, be careful with your deeds. All beings have karma as their portion. They are heirs to their karma. They are sprung from their karma. Their karma is their refuge. Karma allots beings to be great or small. The rational nature of humanity is a spark of the true light. It is the first step upon the upward road. But new births are required to ensure an ascent to the summit of existence. The enlightenment of mind and heart, where the immeasurable light of moral comprehension is gained, which is the source of all righteousness. Having attained this higher birth, I have found the truth, and I am teaching you now the noble path that leads to the way of peace. I have shown you the path to the lake of ambrosia, which washes away all desire. I have given you the refreshing drink called the perception of truth, and the one who drinks of it becomes free from wrongdoing or karma. The very gods themselves envy the bliss of the being who has escaped the flood of their passion and has climbed upon the shores of nirvana. For that heart is one cleansed from all illusion. The enlightened one walks the noble path and lives in this world, and yet their heart is not destroyed by earthly desires. The one who does not understand truth through repeated births, through the desert of ignorance, with its mirages of illusion, the mores of right and wrongdoing, will continue to incarnate. But if you have gained comprehension, the cause for further migrations and aberrations is removed. The goal is reached. The craving of selfishness destroyed. And the truth is attained. This is the true salvation, the middle path. Eternal dreamers, the voices you hear are your voice, echoing off the beat of the universal heart. Now we transcend the confines of mind into a new depth called the heart, from old paradigm to new. Our global spiritual evolution is in process. Accessing ancient earth archives, circa the year 33, as we enter the world of Jesus, aka the Christ. Let me tell you why you're here. You're here to be salt seasoning that brings out the love flavors in this world. Love is not a secret to be kept. We're going public with kindness, as public as a city on a mountain. Now that I've put you on a light stand, shine. Keep open house. Be generous with your life. By opening up to others, you'll prompt people to open up to love. Don't be impressed with material wealth. Look for character. Who people are is the main thing, not what they own. Don't look for shortcuts to enlightenment. The market is flooded with surefire, shortcut formulas to a so-called successful life that can be practiced in your spare time. Don't fall for that stuff, even though crowds of people do. The way to eternal life, to love, is vigorous, and it requires total attention. These words I speak are not incidental additions, homeowner improvements to your standard of living. They are foundation words, words to base a life on. I'm not here to demolish your thoughts or your religion, but to complete them. I'm going to pull it all together in a vast panorama. Let's call it eternal tenderness. And it is more real and lasting than the stars in the sky or the ground beneath your feet. Long after stars burn away and the earth wears out, eternal tenderness will be alive and working as you. Trivialize even the smallest being in existence, and you will have only trivialized yourself. You're familiar with the command of the ancients, do not murder. I'm telling you that someone who is so much as angry with a brother or sister is guilty of murder. Thoughtlessly yell stupid at someone, and you're on the brink of hellfire. Because the simple moral fact is, words can kill. So let's not pretend this is easier than it really is. If you want to live a morally pure life, here's what you have to do. Something as radical as forgiveness. For there is another old saying that deserves a second look. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth. But is that really going to get us anywhere? Here's what I propose. Do not hit back at all. If someone strikes you, stand there and take it. If someone sues you in court for the shirt off your back, well, gift wrap your best pair of underwear and make a present of it. And if someone takes unfair advantage of you, use the occasion to practice the servant life. No more tit for tat stuff. Live generously. You're familiar with the old law, love your friend, and its unwritten companion, hate your enemy. I'm challenging that. I'm telling you to love your enemies. Let them bring out the best in you, not the worst. When someone gives you a hard time, respond with the energies of love. For then you are working out of your true self, your God-created self. This is what God does. She gives her best. The sun to warm and the rain to nourish everyone, regardless, the good, the bad, the nice, the nasty. If all you do is love the lovable, do you expect a bonus?
Anybody can do that. If you simply say hello to those with whom you are familiar, do you expect a medal? Any run-of-the-mill actor can do that. In a phrase, what I'm saying is, grow up. Your kingdom subjects. Now live like it. Live out your love-created identity. Live generously and graciously towards others, the way love lives towards you. Walk out into the fields and observe the wildflowers. They never primp nor shop. And yet, have you ever seen color and design quite like them? The best dressed royal family in all of human history look shabby alongside even a single wildflower. If love pays such attention to the wildflowers and birds, most of which are never even seen, don't you think she'll attend to you, take pride in you, do her best for you? What I want you to do is to relax, to not be so preoccupied with getting so that you can respond to love's giving. Do you know how blessed you truly are? You're blessed when you're at the end of your rope. With less of you, there is more of love and its rule. You're blessed when you feel that you've lost what is most dear to you. Only then can you be embraced by the one most dear to you. You're blessed when you're content with just who you are. No more, no less. That's the moment you find yourself to be a proud owner of everything that can't be bought. You're blessed when you've worked up a good appetite for kindness and compassion. It's food and drink and the best meal you'll ever eat. You're blessed when you care. At the moment of being cared for, you find yourself careful. You're blessed when you get your heart and your mind, your inside world put right. For then you can see the looks of love happening in everyone's eyes. You're blessed when you can show others how to cooperate instead of compete or fight. That's the moment you find out who you really are and your place in love's family. You're blessed when your creativity provokes persecution. That persecution drives you even deeper into love's truth. Misunderstandings happen when you get too close to truth for other people's comfort, and they get upset at the reflection of themselves they see happening in you. Steep your life in love reality, love initiative, love provision. Don't worry about missing out. You'll find all your everyday human concerns will be met. Give your entire attention to what love is doing right now. And don't get worried or worked up about what may or may not happen tomorrow. Love will help you deal with whatever challenges that may arise when they come. Don't pick on people, jump on their failures, criticize their faults, unless of course you want the same treatment. You see, the critical spirit has a way of boomeranging. It's easy to see a smudge on your neighbor's face and be oblivious to the ugly sneer upon your own. It's this whole traveling roadshow mentality all over again, playing the holier-than-thou part instead of just playing your part. Don't bargain with God. Be direct. Ask her for what you want and need. This isn't a cat and mouse hide-and-seek game we're in. If your child asks you for bread, do you trick them with sawdust? If she asks for a fish, do you scare her with a live snake on her plate? You wouldn't do such a thing. You are at least kind and decent to your own children. So don't you think the one who created you in love will be even better towards you? Here's a simple rule of thumb, a guide for behavior. Ask yourself what you want people to do for you, then grab the initiative and do it for them. If you add up all of God's laws, everything that the prophets said, this is what you get. Forgiveness, kindness, compassion, love. Eternal dreamers, our final destination along this pathless journey is at hand. As we have a personal experience of the divine right now, accessing ancient Earth archives, circa the year 570 AD, as we enter the world of light personified, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. There is but one unending reality, and that reality is love, whose names are many, but whose essence is singular. And know that love is the unifying principle of existence. I'm not sent to curse non-believers or to belittle other religions. Rather, I was sent to speak the message of mercy to humankind. To the light I have attained, and in the light I live. I am not your master, Love is your master. Do you truly feel love for your Creator? Show it by loving your fellow beings first. Islam, or the path of complete surrender, is built upon 5 pillars. First, there is the belief in love. Second, prayer. Think of prayer as celestial conversation, a cosmic relationship, a personal private time between you and the Goddess. The third pillar is giving. Giving of your time, of your energy, of your money. Giving to those in need, those less fortunate. Fourth is fasting. Fasting from food provides contrast to the body and heightens the feelings of compassion towards those who are starving. And in the process of focusing in on love, we can learn how to feed the soul. And the fifth pillar is Hajj, or the pilgrimage to the holy city of your heart by enacting your devotion towards love. The being that is nearest to God is the one who forgives everyone of everything, even when you have in the power of your palm a person who would have injured you if given half a chance. It may sound counterintuitive, but the ink of the scholar is more sacred than the blood of the martyr. And the truest jihad is that for the conquest of self. Heaven lays at the feet of mothers, and the unsung heroes of love's creation are women. The rights of women are sacred. See that all women are entitled to absolute equality to men. Love compels you to treat women well, for they are your mothers, your daughters, your sisters. The best expression of virtue is your doing good to your daughter, especially when she has returned home to you after perhaps having lost her way in this world. When you are kind to girls, you preserve the innocence of your own precious soul. For women are the twin halves of men, and a true Muslim man must never be rude or disrespectful to his beloved. Honor your baby. Appreciate her with tenderness. For when a man marries, he has fulfilled half of his religious duty. If he be a wise man, then let him attend to love regarding the remaining half. A woman may be married by 4 qualifications: on account of her money, on account of the nobility of her pedigree, on account of her beauty. The 4th, on account of her true inner goodness. Look out for a woman that has integrity. For if you marry any other kind of person, you muddy up your own future. Intention is everything.
Plenty of silence and a loving disposition. There are no two works or deeds better than these. Nevertheless, go out of your way to feed the hungry, to visit the sick, and to free the captive if they be unjustly confined. Assist any person who is being oppressed, whether Muslim or non-Muslim. It is a matter of honor. Wealth, properly employed, is a tremendous blessing to do good. And a person may lawfully endeavor to increase it by honest means. But beware its burdening effect, for it is sometimes difficult for a person loaded up with their weight in gold to climb the steep path which leads to bliss. And true riches are not from an abundance of worldly goods, but from the continuous state of a contented mind. For instance, what makes you wise and a rare being indeed is when you do good to family and strangers who do not do good to you. God hasn't yet created anything more aesthetically pleasing or more perfect or more beautiful than a woman. Blessed are those who leave home in search of knowledge, for they walk in the path leading to love. So listen to the words of the learned and instill into others the lesson of silence. Above all, learn to know yourself. For through reason, it is evident that the one who knows their own self knows God. Seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave, for the best and most blessed being is one whose life is long and whose actions are good. The truly wise are those who put into motion the practicality of what they know in order to improve upon the old and help the new world to grow. The acquisition of knowledge is a duty incumbent upon every being, man and woman, seeking truth. Religion is a spiritual refinement process, and it is a means of making the conscience pure. They will enter the garden of bliss who have a true, purified, and merciful heart. The best of good acts in God's sight is that tender, loving kindness which is constantly attended to in small ways every day. Every human being has two inclinations. One, forcing them to do good and compelling them to inspire the universe, and the other, prompting them to do bad and compelling them to anger. But love's assistance is always near, because your destiny is interwoven into the very fabric of your personality and natural state of being. What is a sin, you ask? It is when a thing troubles the peace of your heart. Therefore, get rid of it.
is the mirage, union with, or annihilation in the divine essence by means of continual upward progress of the one who surrenders to love's will. God has treasures beneath the throne, the keys of which are the tongues of poets. Some poetry is dressed in knowledge and art, but the truest words spoken by any poet are these. Know that everything is vanity, everything except for love. Eternal dreamers, we have crossed the great divide of duality and woven the perennial golden thread of truth into the core of our very beings. Our journey ends where it began, as a seed syllable of light, growing into unity consciousness. You are now an awakened one. Your eternal essence is ablaze with beauty. You have become a vessel containing the ultimate transformative elixir. The goddess essence bids you dream well, for you are now one thought away from absolute enlightenment. Mahalo, Maui family. Give me a round of applause for our goddess essence, Mirayah Del Lamar, and the Sacred Earth Troupe. Come on, put your hands together, push them down. Don't be afraid, come on, put your hands together. I want to take a special moment to say thank you to Mirayah Del Lamar. She's our goddess. Sorry about that. She's our goddess hostess. She's made this night possible for us. Can we give Mirayah Del Lamar a round of applause for being here? Thank you. I want to also let you know that tonight was a labor of love. We didn't really have much time to practice, so I hope you'll forgive us for the rough edges, if there were any. Our hope tonight was to bring all the traditions together into one thread. So maybe you heard things you did like, maybe you heard things you didn't like, but mostly we want you to know that there's a golden thread of truth pervading all traditions. We have each other, so I want us to end the way we began. Grab each other, if you would, by the pinky for a moment. Go ahead and grab each other by that pinky for a second. Don't be afraid, don't be shy. This was just a one-hit wonder into the universe, hoping to say, here we are. Look at that person next to you. How beautiful they are. Devious, mischievous as they are. And repeat after me and say, I, Pinky, promise to love you without shame. I, Pinky, promise to have as much fun as I can while I can. To never hold back. I don't care what anyone thinks. And I double dog dare you to do the same. Say, I, Pinky, promise to do what I was born to do, baby. Like I was born to do it. And I triple dog dare you to do the same.
If you accept this challenge, give each other a hug and a kiss on each cheek and say, aloha, you're so beautiful. So, in honor of Anthony Nativdad, in honor of his beloved wife and his beloved daughter, and in honor of each of us who get to carry on that same tradition of being love, absolute and without conditions, I want us to do 3 long, prolonged alohas, and this we're going to put our hand over our heart. We're going to stretch it up to the sky on the out breath. And this is straight to Anthony from us. We say, Aloha. Now I want you to come into the center and grab someone by the hand, come into the center of the circle, just bring it tight. This is the part where you shake your booty. This is the part where you dance and you show the world just how sexy you really are. This is your turn. This is your turn to show the universe that you're in love with life. So for the next few minutes, for the next 5 minutes, I want you to get your dancing shoes on. Let's have one more big round of applause for our Sacred Earth dancers.